All right, welcome, everybody. It's good to see you. So, today I'm going to share with you 4 use case scenarios for using Google Gemini to create foreign language apps. Now, first, before we start, I want to share with you a couple of ideas, some mentalities when using AI, because sometimes AI does not give us what we want. All of these processes do take some time. Okay, so imagine it like you're building something and you build it in steps and chunks and iterations. It is not perfect the first time you do it. It's going to take some refinement. As long as you're willing to do the refining process, it's just fine. And you do not have to be there every single second and wait every single second. It doesn't need to be that way. But we're going to go ahead and show you some of the ways that I was able to create some new materials. So, first use case scenario here, we have an IB language specialist. Now, check this out. When I go into this, let's see, we can switch our language. Now, I'm going to switch it to German. The French and Spanish are there as well. I can create the difficulty here. Let's say I wanted to do some beginner. I wanted to do some, let's go with academic. And we can also pick the API the IB theme. So we've got experiences, and this menu here is responsive to this up here. So let's go with life story. And then there's a grammatical or functional language focus. Now, this is really important too, because this is also responsive to it as well. And it will make some adjustments to the things that you create. So we've got the making predictions here. And let's see, specific topic and context. It has a couple of things. It has one already filled in here for us, so we don't have to worry about that too much. But then it also gives us some different things. So we can do a role play dialogue. Let's go with that. So as we build this, okay, this is what we can create with it. And while it's building that lesson, I'm going to show you real quick what it is that I use to create this. Okay. I wanted it to build an app that helps with teaching German by creating materials like word gap fill activities, chunk gap fills, missing letters, sentence scrambles, translations, and sentence builders. Use the images as a quick reference for topics. So I gave them the topics, and I also, so here we have our lesson. Let's look at that lesson. So what we have here is we have some learning objectives here. We have some vocabulary and phrases that you can use. And so it's all in here as well. And then down here, we are able to talk about the future tense. And this is using the future tense plus the infinitive, which is very foundational. It gives some suggestions, okay? So all of this can be copied and pasted. And then we have an activity or a short dialogue for a role play. One of the cool things here is that it gives you, it says, student one is pretty optimistic and believes on uh, kind of long lasting effects. And then down here, uh, player B is just kind of realistic and asks concrete future steps. So basically, there's one that's really optimistic and one that is less optimistic. Okay. And they're talking about environmental politics. Okay. They're discussing what they should do for the future. So lots of fun. And then you have some specific language tasks as well. And then you also have a couple of other things. Looks like we have a nice dialogue here. We have a dialogue expansion, which is a lot of fun. And we have even more. It's a lot of stuff. So all of that based off of this one reference. But it wasn't just this one reference. I continue to go down. If you notice here, I said, can you create materials based on the following topics? I gave it some topics here because I wanted to have some of these topics in there as well. And so I went on and said, add these topics as well. I gave them some more topics, and then I wanted 20 examples for each topic. So you guys get the idea. You have to kind of build this up piece by piece and just say, you know what, I think it would go good with this. So it's like you're making a meal for your kids or something. I don't know. All right, so the next one I'm going to show you is the Mars Builder, and this is based off of Gianfranco Conti. I want to say he's the owner of the language gym. He's super smart, super great. I really like his methods. And the goal of this is to simply create materials. Uh, we switch our target language. We pick our thing that we want to do. Okay, this is functional language type stuff. And again, you got a subtopic. Okay, let's go with money. Let's do the grammar focus is on the perfect. So then we're going to change the materials here. And what it does is it gives us a bunch of words, and let's see, it it plays the pronunciation here, which is really nice. Then we can also do start sentence builder. So after the students get used to practicing with those, what you can do is you can go, ich trage gern, eine Hose. Uh, we've got those three different things. Yeah, that's going to need a little bit of practice. I'm going to have to include something about using proper sentence structure. But you can save it, you can read it, you can also make random sentences. Yeah, that's what we get. Sometimes, yeah, too expense Ivy. I love that. All right, so you can save them, and then you can also go on to speaking scenarios, and it does give you a lot of different scenarios here, and you could say like what you like, describe your style, or you could say what did you buy recently. And so there's a lot of different avenues. I need to build this one out just a little bit more. Let's look at this one here. Create a table sentence builder in German for stating where you are going and how you are going to get there. So that was what I started out with. And over time, I was able to create more stuff. So one of the things that I do with this, let me just go ahead and grab some material. All right, so now I've got some material for us here. We're going to go ahead and paste that in. Now, this came from a German news website called Nachrichten Leicht. And if you notice here, we have different types of activities. I'm going to do some comprehension challenges. I'm going to do a summary challenge, maybe even a story builder. Let's see what happens. So you can generate these activities, and when you generate the activities, it'll put them down as a PDF. We're close to, let's see. Here we go. So I've got it to give me, it's going to read the generated activity aloud. So if I click on this, what it's going to do is going to give me a little bit better voice here. Let's see if we can let it do that. First thing is, here's our dialogue builder. And this dialogue builder is based off of the article that I put in here. The other things as well is that we do have some comprehension questions. Okay, so there we go. All right, so that's not bad. That's really good. The audio on it's really nice, a little bit more useful than the robotic sounding one. If you notice here too, I can download that as a WAV file, which I think is really great because then you have automatic material being generated based off your source. So if we go down, we see you've got the answer keys as well. We've got a summary challenge here. So then you also have a story builder. So I decided to use this and thought, well, what if we ended up creating something for my lower levels? Well, now we have a lower level story, which is really good. And then it also gives a writing assignment. Write a short story about 100 to 120 words about a day that from Hansenstahl. Look at that. So you're going to use the present tense and for your sentences. So it started out with create a table sentence builder in German for stating where you're going and how you're going to get there. And over time, I began to create more and more. I said, do it again, but change the focus to talking about what you read and sharing your opinion. And then it built some more stuff. And as it went on, I said, separate making statements about what you read and expressing your opinions into two tables. And over time, I created an app. I don't know where it actually ended up going to app form, but a lot of that was designed for that. So for me, it was important to have these types of tools available. So let's go to the next one. So this one's really cool. This is based off of language blocks. It's sort of based off of it. It's not exactly, but what we have here is we have an app, and this app basically creates. Let's see, here we go. I wanted to create an app that would generate learning materials or plans to use this method for German. So here we have a lot of different functions here. Okay, and I think all of these functions are communicative functions that we would use in our classes. And so when we click on it, you notice here we got the weekend plans, and we've got here am Wochenende werde ich Pizza essen mit Freunden, and that's really cool. Okay, and here they have the question. Now, I would want to have this printed out, because if I'm going to be doing something like this, I want to have students be able to use this as well. So let's go ahead and click on the PDF flashcards and check it out. Now, I did program it to go on to the PDF flashcards. Let's see if we can, maybe we can zoom in on it. No, not too well. So what that did, though, was it created basically some task cards, and they also have word banks as appropriate is what I had. So sometimes they have a lot of word banks, sometimes they don't, but that's okay. We can always ask it to do more. We can also go over here to the drill button, and when we click on the drill button, we have these flashcards. Again, very helpful for kind of reviewing with students. It also gives you a plan. So this plan generator shows you for the first week, these are going to be your tasks that you want to be able to do. And in the second week, it describes the routine and basically the things that you would do on a typical day. And then you have home and environment. Again, super cool, super helpful, very demure. I'm kidding. All right. So now you kind of get an idea of what it is that you can do with AI, specifically Gemini. And the one thing that I'm going to say, we've got to talk about some limitations. One limitation is that if you want to publish this into, for example, a website, it has to be published first through a website called GitHub, or you can share it with people within your organization based on your school's access level or membership level with Google. If they have like an enterprise account, then you're probably pretty good and you can share it with your colleagues. However, it's going to be a little bit trickier when you try to share it with people outside. So if you're trying to share it on social media, it's not going to get as much traction. And keep in mind always as well, just like with any AI product that you use, double check it, read it, and check and see that it is going to fit you and your students and what it is that you're going to be doing. But the helpfulness of this is creating things that can help you and to enhance your instruction. Because for me, at least, top-down processing is really tough for me. And then bottom-up, though, is one thing I can do. So it helps to augment my own personal talents and traits. And I appreciate it. You know, it's really great. The fact that we can take all of these different tools, put them together, and make real fun things out of them. And, you know, all of this stuff I can take and I can get those ideas. I can create PDFs. I can create little activities. I can create lots of worksheets based off of these. And those are things that we need to, as foreign language teachers, at least if you have 4 preps, trust me, this is something that is big. So hopefully this was an important and interesting video for you. I really enjoyed making it. I enjoyed talking to you about it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Have a great day.
Flickering through memories, the Polaroids yellowed in the sun, longing to be seen. So come and hide with me.